Yo, what it do, YouTube? It is your boy, Culture Shark. We're back with another video, and today is an interesting topic. Before we get to that live stream where we're going to go Patriots versus Colts preview with a few guests, we're going to talk about this defense versus the run game because we know that's going to be two pivotal pieces going into this game. And I had to get my guy Lucas to join me to talk about it because I wanted to get another perspective because we know we've been talking. We've been talking this whole week about Jonathan Taylor needs to get the football, whether they're good on the run or not. But I want to get Lucas' perspective. First of all, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm good, man. I'm chilling, man. But we got to get into this topic. A very interesting question. But first, we're going to start off with the thoughts on the Patriots defense this season. It took us a surprise by far. But no one expected this team to be really this good going into the season, even though they picked up a lot of good pieces. But a lot of players that they picked up are actually doing better than what we expected. And the defense is looking really good. They're number one in the AFC overall in team. Let me get your thoughts about this Patriots defense, man.
Well, over the years, I think Colts fans have learned to not underestimate Bill Belichick, especially in his defensive schemes. He is one of, if not the greatest defensive play callers in NFL history, and of course, arguably the greatest coach of all time. So, scheme-wise, they have always been a very, very well-coached unit, and this year is no different. They got a lot of guys coming back from last year who weren't playing last year because they were opting out because of COVID. So that was a big infusion of talent from 2020 to 2021. On top of that, they added a few more pieces. The biggest one, of course, was Matt Judon. He's mostly been seen as a pass rusher, and for good reason. He has been dominant in that regard. But let's not overlook another thing. He has been a very, very good run defender as well. This has been a very, very tough defense, especially with his addition. Honestly, they are arguably one of, if not the best defense in the NFL right now. It's going to be a very tough task for the Colts to be able to get moving against them, especially during the pass. But there might be a bit of an opportunity against the run.
Yeah, man, I agree. There's going to be a slight opportunity going into this Patriots defense, man. They've been playing lights out. They've replaced so many players on that defense with key players that they already had that stepped up into bigger roles. No one expected this, but I already knew from a while ago that J.C. Jackson was going to be a stud. He pretty much was hiding under the lights of Stephon Gilmore, which was the former Defensive Player of the Year. And now J.C. Jackson has taken over the helmet. He's still doing his thing with a bigger role. But I know JC is going to be tested. JC is very good at what he does, but I know he might get tested on Saturday. It's going to be an interesting thing to do. But when it comes to stopping a run as well, they're pretty good at that. Even though they do have some holes in some of them run games, them inside runs and those counters. And pretty much what we're good at doing as well are the holes that we gotta attack because they're not really good at doing that. But they are good at stopping the run. It's pretty much those outsides because we know they got Judon and those other guys screaming on the outside of the protection on the defense. But I feel like we can get some holes. But now let's talk about the run game for the Colts. How has the run game been for the Colts this year?
In a word, phenomenal. I mean, the Colts have been one of the best run games in the NFL, especially when you're considering not quarterback runs, because a lot of the top rushing teams in the league, they have very run-first quarterbacks. I mean, you got, of course, Lamar Jackson with the Baltimore Ravens, and you also have Jalen Hurts with the Philadelphia Eagles. They are two of the best run offenses. But then you got the Colts, and while Carson Wentz has been a very, very mobile quarterback, and he can get out and scramble, he's not a run-first guy, and he's not nearly that level of an athlete as those guys. Those guys are kind of next level, but he's still very good. However, where the Colts are going to be running, it's going to be with Jonathan Taylor, who has been emerging as a possible MVP candidate. And even when Jonathan Taylor hasn't been running the ball, they still got Nyheim Hines, who is averaging 5.5 or over 5 yards a carry on his own. So a great change of pace back right there. I think he could have a really, really interesting game as well because Hines has not been utilized as much as I thought he would heading into this season. He has kind of taken a back seat to Jonathan Taylor, whereas before I thought there was going to be a little bit more of a committee between them and also Marlon Mack as he gets back. But of course, JT took that next step, and it was kind of hard to deny him all the carries and targets that he's rightfully deserved. But for the run game, of course, the running backs have been absolutely pivotal. There's been some great vision, great job at getting to their holes, especially getting their vision right and seeing, hey, we have a backside cut that we can make for a huge play, especially Naeem Hines, but also Jonathan Taylor. Both of them can really take it to the house if given enough space on the backside. And the Patriots have struggled a little bit with that, especially recent weeks. Most notably, they did really struggle against the Titans as well with those backside blocks. So the Colts have been really good at that. I think we could see some really explosive plays in the run game. And of course, we got to mention the guys who are blocking for them. The Colts have at least 10 great blockers on the field pretty much at any point in the game, or 9 guys really, where you got the entire offensive line has been very strong against the in the run blocking. Braden Smith, when healthy, phenomenal, absolutely. Chris Reed has been a mauler at right guard now. He's kind of taken over from Glowinski, and Glowinski is a really good run blocker himself too. But Chris Reed has been very fun to watch there. Ryan Kelly, he's more of a pass blocking center, but he also can get down and get in the scruff right there. He's been very good on those duo blocks, especially when he's teaming up with a healthy Quentin Nelson, who he's been in and out of the lineups, but of course we know how great he can be when healthy, and he has absolutely destroyed some guys in the run game. And Eric Fisher, as much as we complain about how inconsistent or even bad he has been in the pass protection, he's been very good in run blocking. There's not a drop off too much on that left side compared to the right side. They are very good there, as well as, hey, it's not just about the offensive line. You got to get some downfield blocks as well. You got to get those outside guys. And they have some of the best blocking tight ends in the NFL with Jack Doyle and Mo Alley Cox. They are phenomenal, especially with those wham concepts there. They can just knock the heck out of a 1-tech or 3-tech, just screaming off of the line. They are they are absolute weapons in the run game, to be honest. You got them. Zach Pascal is a great run blocking wide receiver. Ashton Doolin has been developing really well there. Michael Pittman Jr. has been really good. And while T.Y. Hilton is not exactly known for his run blocking, he does give up a very strong effort. So there's been a lot to like about this unit. I think we can do some pretty good damage against them in the run. I think the Colts will be able to move. Of course, the Patriots are going to be using a lot of 5-man lines. They're going to try and load up the box a bit, try and force the Colts to have to throw, and then it'll be up to Carson Wentz a little bit more. But I think the Colts can be able to overcome some of those loaded boxes, especially with such breakaway and strong vision in the backfield.
Yeah, man, it's going to be an interesting matchup for sure. I think we can get it done. It's just going to rely on consistency and actually good run designs that's going to pull it off. But it's Saturday. Definitely anything goes. I will not count out the Colts, but we will definitely see how that goes. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section about this hot Patriots defense and the good run game from the Indianapolis Colts. Will Jonathan Taylor get the carries that he deserves? Will Coach Frank use him how he's supposed to be using him? Will Big Q get in his ear and make those calls? Let us know all those things in the comment section. Lucas, let us know where they can find you.
You guys can find me, as always, at Robbins Lucas on Twitter. You can find me on Reddit at Indies Italian Stallion. Of course, I've been getting some good interaction on there. And of course, you can also find me as the lead writer for thebluestable.com.
All right, there you have it. Go ahead and follow those links. Show them some love. Appreciate you for tuning in. Go ahead and let us know in the comment section. Subscribe if you haven't already as well. This is Lucas. This is Marcus. And until next time, even myself, as you can tell, you've been culture shocked.